7. The Fractal Keepers. What you call reality is nothing more than the echoes of a dream spinning endlessly in the void. Theo fell through the kaleidoscope of dimensions, his consciousness unraveling into threads of light and shadow. Time no longer made sense. Seconds stretched into centuries, and lifetimes flickered past in the blink of an eye. He was everything and nothing all at once. Then abruptly, the falling stopped. He landed on something that felt like a solid ground, though it shifted and pulsed beneath him as if alive. He stood up, disoriented, and found himself on a vast floating island, suspended in an endless void of swirling fractals. Every direction held impossible geometry. Imagine Escher's staircase spiraling into infinity, but where each step was made of pulsating living energy. In the sky above, or what passed for a sky, great leviathan-like shapes swam through the ether, their bodies made of shifting colors and starlight. They were vast, ancient beings that defied description, their forms ever-changing and fluid as though they existed between moments of time. Theo's breath caught as one of the creatures noticed him. It twisted its massive body, the stars within it flickering as it swam closer. And then it spoke. Not in words, but in thoughts, in feelings, in abstract concepts, and coiled around Theo's mind like tendrils of cosmic fire. "You are a flicker," the entity said, or rather, Theo felt. Its voice was like a symphony of collapsing galaxies. A brief flash of light in the dark, here to ask the questions you cannot yet understand. Theo staggered back, trying to grasp what was happening. His mind felt too small to hold all of this, to comprehend the sheer vastness of it. But even as the fear rose in him, something else stirred, a strange, aching familiarity, as though he had been here before, as though this place was waiting for him. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of him, materializing out of the fractal patterns. It was humanoid, but only in the vaguest sense. Its body shimmered with every color Theo could imagine, and many he couldn't. Its face was a swirling vortex of light, constantly shifting and changing like a nebula in miniature. "Welcome, Theo," it said in a voice that echoed in all directions at once. "We are the keepers of the fractal realm, the guardians of the patterns that shape all existence." Theo blinked, trying to focus on the figure. "What is this place? What are you?" The keeper tilted its head, and fractals around it rippled in response. "We are the architects of the multiverse, the weavers of the cosmic web. Every possibility, every reality, every thought, and every dream, they all flow through us. We are the gatekeepers of the infinite." Theo's mind reeled as he tried to comprehend what the keeper was saying. He had encountered strange beings before, but this was something entirely different. This wasn't just another version of reality. This was the source, the core, the place where everything began and ended. "Why am I here?" Theo asked, his voice trembling. The keeper's swirling face pulsed with light. "You are here because you seek the truth, Theo. The truth of who you are, the truth of what you are becoming. The Chrysalis has opened your mind, but it is only the beginning. To truly understand, you must go deeper. You must see the patterns that underlie all things." Theo took a deep breath, his heart pounding. He had come so far, seen so much, but this whole experience is completely different. This felt like the final step, the place where all his journeys had been leading him. "What do I need to do?" said Theo. The keeper extended a hand, or something that looked like a hand, toward him. In its palm, a small glowing object appeared, spinning slowly in the air. It was a fractal seed, endlessly spiraling in on itself, creating new patterns with every rotation. "Take this," said the keeper. "Plant it with your consciousness. It will grow, and as it grows, you will begin to see the truth the truth of the multiverse, of the infinite possibilities that exist within you. But be warned, Theo, the truth is not easy. It will change you in ways you cannot even imagine. Theo stared at the fractal seed, feeling its energy pulse in time with his heartbeat. He knew that this was it, the moment he had been waiting for, the final step on his journey. But he also knew that once he took it, there would be no turning back. "I'm ready," he said, his voice filled with determination. The keeper smiled, a strange cosmic smile that seemed to stretch across the entire universe. "Then take it, Theo. And remember, you're not just a traveler in the multiverse. You are the multiverse. Every choice, every possibility, every echo, they all exist within you. You are the Fractal Keeper now." Theo reached out his hand and took the seed, feeling its energy surge through him like 1,000 lightning bolts. As he held it in his hand, it began to merge with him, dissolving into his skin, into his mind, into his very soul. And then everything changed. The fractal patterns around him exploded into a whirlwind of color and light, spiraling out in all directions as his consciousness expanded, growing larger and larger until he could feel the entire multiverse pulsing within him. Every reality, every possibility, every choice, they were all there, all connected, all part of the same endless web. He was no longer just Theo. He was the Fractal Keeper, the guardian of the patterns that shaped all existence. He could see the infinite threads of the multiverse stretching out before him, each one a different version of reality, a different possibility waiting to be explored. And in that moment, he understood. He understood that there was no single fixed reality. There was only the endless dance of the fractals, the infinite possibilities that existed within each of us. We are all keepers, all guardians of the patterns that shape our lives. The only question is, what patterns will we choose to create? Chapter 8. The Architect of Waking Dreams. Man is the dream of a shadow, yet when the gods pour brightness, shines out with brilliance and light among men. The world inside the chrysalis was no longer one of fear, but anticipation, like standing at the precipice of something grand, terrifying, and wonderful. Lucius felt it in the marrow of his bones, a vibration, a hum, something ancient that had lived beyond the boundaries of the known. He had taken the leap, swallowed the shimmering liquid that looked like sunlight trapped in water. The chrysalis had become part of him. It wasn't just a drug. It was a blueprint, a living algorithm reshaping his mind, body, and soul. He didn't fall into the trip as much as he soared through it, navigating dimensions that felt stitched together by the strands of forgotten dreams. This was no ordinary journey. It was an invitation into the fabric of creation itself. Lucius found himself in a cathedral of impossible architecture, towering spires of light and sound. The walls were woven from something more ethereal than material, flickering between solidity and abstraction. As he moved through the space, symbols he couldn't comprehend floated around him, morphing into familiar images from his life, his childhood home, the face of his mother, a red balloon he had once let slip into the sky. In the center of the cathedral stood a figure, neither male nor female, a shimmering entity of shifting geometries and fractal patterns. It was the architect of waking dreams, the creator of the realities that danced on the edge of consciousness. "Welcome, Lucius," the architect said through its voice, though its voice was not a voice, but a resonance that vibrated through the fibers of his being. "You have chosen to see what lies beyond the veil of ordinary perception. But beware, for this is a place where dreams shape reality and thoughts birth worlds." Lucius stood before the architect, feeling both insignificant and infinite at the same time. The world around him pulsed with potential, each moment teetering on the edge of creation or destruction. He had become a part of the dance of existence, a co-creator of this waking dream. "What am I supposed to do here?" he asked, his voice echoing in the cathedral of light. The architect's form shimmered and shifted, becoming more defined, more human-like, yet still alien in its beauty. "You are here to understand the power of the dream, Lucius. To see that the lines between the real and the imagined are thinner than you ever believed. Every thought, every intention has the potential to reshape the world around you." Lucius felt the weight of the architect's words. He was no longer just a passenger in this life, but a creator, an architect of his own reality. The possibilities were endless, but so were the responsibilities. "Will I ever go back?" he asked, unsure if he even wanted to return to the mundane world. The architect smiled, or at least Lucius thought it did. "You never left, Lucius. The world you knew was just another layer of the dream. The question is, which dream will you choose to live in now?" As the architect's words faded, the cathedral began to dissolve around him. Lucius felt the pull of reality reasserting itself, drawing him back into the world he had once known. But he was no longer the same man. He had glimpsed the infinite, and it had left its mark on him. When he opened his eyes, he was back in his apartment, the vial of Chrysalis still on the table before him. But the room felt different, charged with an energy of potential. The line between waking and dreaming had been blurred, and Lucius knew that from this moment on, every step he took, every decision he made, would shape the reality he inhabited. The world was his canvas, and he was ready to paint. As Lucius stood up, a quiet resolve settled within him. The Chrysalis had shown him what lay beyond the ordinary, and now it was up to him to bring that vision into the world. The architect's word echoed in his mind. "Which dream will you choose to live in?" The question was no longer a metaphor. It was a call to action, and Lucius was ready to answer.